Fresh controversy over gender transition treatments for children. The list of states is growing as they take up bills to stop or limit those procedures on children. West Virginia's ban is now in effect, and that makes 22 states which now have those laws on the books designed to protect children. Courts are blocking a few of them from taking effect at this point. In Ohio, Republican Governor Mike DeWine shocked some conservatives when he vetoed a ban on trans treatment for kids. Here he is on that.
I cannot sign this bill as it is currently written. This bill would impact a very small number of Ohio's children. But for those children who face gender dysphoria and for their families, the consequences of this bill could not be more profound.
So those words from the governor, DeWine, but the Ohio House is coming back from its winter break early to try to override his veto. One detransitioner explains why she thinks the bill is critical.
Parents don't have a right to abuse their children. This is no different from any form of abuse. This is the sterilization and mutilation of thousands of children happening within the state that he is being entirely complicit in. He has made the choice to continue this.
Riley Gaines, OutKick contributor, host of the Gaines for Girls podcast, director of the Riley Gaines Center at the Leadership Institute, and an advisor for the Independent Women's Forum. So when she is not winning medals as an all-star big-time swimmer, look at what else she does. We're so blessed for that. Look, can we just take a moment to recognize Chloe Cole? The bravery of continuing to talk, and you have set that tone.
Absolutely. Chloe has been phenomenal, and not just in the state of Ohio. She's traveled the country sharing the horrors, really, of her story, the realization that what she and her parents and her family and really people, young adolescents around the country continue to go through is nothing short of child abuse. So her voice in Ohio and again across the nation has been incredibly impactful, and I'm proud to be in this fight with her.
And what is the fight going to be like in Ohio if they overturn that veto by Governor DeWine?
Well, what we saw from Governor DeWine is we saw he was compromised. He received over $40,000 in finances and money from pro-trans hospitals that are performing these surgeries. So I believe the votes are there. That was shown on the first round when this bill initially got through before it got to the governor's desk. And as long as these people don't become compromised like Governor DeWine was, I believe this will have no issue getting passed. And that's how the majority of not just Ohioans, but the majority of Americans feel.
Let's talk about women's sports, your specialty. The USA Boxing has introduced a new policy which will allow trans boxers who were born as men to compete with women if they meet certain hormonal standards. And USA Boxing justified the decision saying, quote, "The purpose of this policy is to provide fairness and safety for all boxers." But critics don't buy that. Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert called the move pathetic and disgusting. MMA fighter Clarissa Shields says the policy is not the right decision. One pro-female boxer posted, "It's politically incorrect to have a man fighting a woman." Riley.
Of course, we all know this. Anyone who, you don't even have to have a science degree to know this. This is basic common knowledge. And let me be the first to say women are not just a testosterone level, and we're not just men who merely don't have male genitalia, which is the policies that USA Boxing has in place now. Of course, we know in regard to this topic, we know about the unfair competition aspect, but the safety of women has been compromised by USA Boxing's new policies and guidelines. And I think my biggest problem with this new implementation is now we are glorifying men. We're calling them champions. We're giving them titles. They're winning prize money for punching women in the face. That's the purpose of boxing or any MMA, any fighting sport that requires physical contact like boxing does. We're glorifying that, and we're calling it progressive. Make no mistake, this is not progress. This is not moving us in the positive forward direction. This is taking us, this is incredibly regressive. This is taking us back in time, and it's utterly misogynistic.
You know, it's so interesting what you point out. The actual punching of a man into a woman's face is abusive. Are we normalizing abuse from like the 1920s? That's kind of what I hear you saying, or any time in our history up until now. All right, more reactions pouring in after Harvard president Claudine Gay resigned yesterday. She has, as we all know, been at the center of controversy for weeks over anti-Semitism on her campus of Harvard, and for nearly 50 now reported claims of plagiarizing other scholars and other people's work, just allegedly stealing it. A New York Times analysis lays it out like this. Dr. Gay, a scholar of Black political participation and an architect of Harvard's efforts to advance what she has called racial justice on campus, came to stand for the right's broader critique of elite academia, which it views as intellectually narrow, lax in standards, and overly focused on questions of identity. Whether the resignation of one or two college presidents will spur any broader remaking of higher education is unclear. Riley.
Here's what I'll say. As a recent college graduate myself, I don't understand why it's only seemingly the right, or at least right-leaning media, who is calling this what it is. Plagiarism should be understood to be bad, regardless of where you stand politically. And final thought here is I don't think we should be giving Claudine Gay too much credit here. I don't believe this was a good judgment move on her part. I believe ultimately, of course, she was pushed out. And so I think we need to be asking ourselves the question. I believe, of course, this is donor motivated. Where donors pulling out, which I believe we all know the answer to that. And this is, I think we're following the green here. Yeah,
I mean, Bill Ackerman alone, $1 billion giver. Great to see you, Riley. Always good to talk.
You too.
Big topics with you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.